We are ready to pop the cork in Champaign, Illinois, home to the Fighting Illini, and the fans clad in orange and blue are more than ready for this one. What a game and what potential drama we have in store. You've seen this script before. Top 10 team goes into a cauldron of emotion on the road and just hopes to be able to get out and tell about it. As we'll see, the number 3 team in the country, the Penn State Nittany Lions, taking on the 22nd ranked team in the land, the Illinois Fighting Illini. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. Illinois about to kick it away to get things started. He thought about bringing that out for a half second, but he'll take a knee and they'll bring it to the 25. Ready to fire from the pistol. The receivers often will run their route based on a side adjustment. One running back in the backfield, and he has it. Got room at the 35. And the explosiveness, the big gainer, gets it to the 49-yard line.
Defense is going to have their hands full trying to stop this guy. They better rally to the football and get multiple hats because he is not easy to bring down.
It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. To the ground, he's got it again. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I'll tell you, this is a running back who's very, very dangerous, and the defense did a good job getting him down there. But they got to do a great job gang tackling because this is a guy that can break tackles and turn those types of plays into home runs.
Looking downfield, it's Aller. How about that play to get a hand in there and force the incompletion?
Well, you know what they say, tips lead to picks. The offense, they're lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Got his man downfield. Really nice job to convert that 3rd down, and they've got it at the 33.
And a really good job by the quarterback being very decisive. He saw his matchup, he went for it, he attacked it, got the positive gain. I would say he's going to find that guy a few more times today.
The Nittany Lions are moving quickly down the field. Give to the running back. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
They're trying to run the football, and there's just nowhere to go for the ball carrier inside. He tried to bounce it to the outside. That linebacker way too fast. He met him there and forced the TFL.
Last play didn't go well. It leaves him with 2nd and 11. The give to the single back. Oh, gives him the tough stiff arm. Open runway ahead. Touchdown, Penn State! And once he found some daylight, it was time to make a house call.
I think a lot of people probably expected to see that, right? They're playing on the road, and you know this is going to be a hostile environment, but they've got the better players, and we've seen that before. There was no hesitation. Opening drive, they go right down the field, they score a touchdown, and they made a statement.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And the capper came on a 34-yard jump to the end zone. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. with a fresh set of downs. They're testing the right side here. Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping him up, getting him on the ground. Take away that run game. Make him one-dimensional, put him in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Back to throw. It's Altmaier. Unloads to the wideout. He's got an open man. And the tackle is made, but not before. That completion gets them 30+.
Well, after that last play, you can see how electrifying this guy is and how special he is after he makes the catch. If I'm on offense, I'm trying to find a lot of ways to get him touches in this game.
The feel of this whole drive changed on that last big play. They've got it 1st and 10 outside the 30. Leaves it with the running back. Tackle is made at the 30-yard line after he picked up 4.
Nice run there on first down. You know, this is a running back that gets better as the game goes on. So they're going to want to make sure they keep feeding him the football, let him get lathered up.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. He's looking to throw. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit.
Well, that looked like it was going to be a completion, but how about the defender making the hit and forcing the incompletion?
Third and long from the 30-yard line in this defense, hoping to knock them out of field goal range. From the gun, wants to pass. Catch in the middle, it's Bryant. He'll come through on 3rd downs. He's got enough, and they'll mark it at the 23.
When you're a playmaker like this guy is, your coaches are going to dial up plays intended for you, especially on 3rd down. That's what you saw in that last play. There was no question where the quarterback was going with that football. All week long, they decided on the biggest downs of this game, we're going to target our best player, and we're going to make sure that he gets looks. It doesn't matter what the coverage is, and you saw it right there on that play.
Firing to the right, complete. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few.
And that's kind of a lot of today's running game, right? Spit the ball out quick, get it to your playmakers in space, get positive yards. It's instead of running the ball a couple yards up the middle, now you just spit it out wide. And a lot of times if you break a few tackles, it could be even bigger.
They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. Brought down to the ground, but he has enough for the first down.
I love when players understand the situations and they understand where the first down marker is and they understand where I got to get to. A lot of people you'll see run north-south and try to bounce out wide and make big plays. Sometimes it's not about making big plays. Sometimes it's about getting that first down to make sure I get an extra set of downs instead of trying to make those big touchdown runs.
Able to pick up a couple before he's knocked down. They mark it at the 10. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Looking to throw, it's Altmaier. Gets it out fast. Good throwing catch. Takes it down to the 5 as the offense tries to cash in.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the first down.
Tight quarters deep in the red zone, but they can pick up a first down without scoring. 3rd down. They go to the draw. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
Man, that's a really good job by the defense because when you get in that 3rd and medium area, listen, you got to be worried about the run and the pass. Did a good job playing both, got it stopped, now forcing a 4th down.
They'll try to cap off this drive with a field goal. Kick is good. The offense has 3 points to show for the drive. So the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away after putting up a field goal. Let's see what the defense can do. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. There wasn't much need to throw it around on that last drive for the touchdown, Jesse. They got it done running the ball.
And David, I don't think you have...
Got a lot of running room. And they finally get him down, but not before. He's got him set up for business at the 49-yard line.
Well, that's why this running game can be so dynamic. This guy is special when he has the football in his hands. He can make people miss, he can run with power, and he also has speed. You saw it on that last play.
It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. They're going to ride this running back. They wrestle him to the ground, but he's got plenty for a first down.
Man, they have got a weapon in this offense right there at running back. This dude is tremendous. And you think about Franco Harris, you think about Kajana Carter, Curtis Enos, Saquon Barkley, time and time again. Penn State running backs wearing defenses down. This guy is a problem, and this defense better find a way to slow him down.
They're down to the 35 on 1st and 10. And he's wrestled to the ground.
You know, and that's why this guy can play first, second, and third down. You've already seen him earlier in the drive rip off some nice runs, but he can catch the football as well. And they're going to find ways to get him going in all sorts of ways, but you're seeing it specifically on this drive.
From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. And he found plenty of running room on that one before the defense was finally able to get him down.
Well, the defense knew coming into this one it was going to be a physical game. Guys are going to have to be great at the point of attack and get off blocks and make tackles. They couldn't stop the offense from picking up that first down on that run play.
Now he's looking to throw it. Fires to the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Nittany Lions.
What a throw by the QB. You think about it, you don't have much space near the sideline, and he put that thing right on the outside of the sideline where his receiver could go make a play. Not only does he make the play, I'm pretty sure he got a foot in bounds, and that's a great touchdown catch. What a playmaker.
Penn State, 14, Illinois, 3.
Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive.
To kick it off.
He'll call for the fair catch here. Here comes the Illini offense back onto the field. It's always great to get points on a drive, but it would behoove them to try to get a touchdown this time around, Pump. And the ball's on the ground. Oh, it looks as if the defense got it. And he's brought down to this. Gets the ball back for its own.
Oh, and it's a hit like that that will absolutely light up the sideline, light up the stadium, change the momentum, and help you win a football game because that hit is what caused that fumble.
This coach wanted to be absolutely certain on a challenge. He was right. The previous play will be overturned. They've got it at the 37. It's 1st and 10. The give to the back. And they're able to shove him to the turf as they stop him for a short gain.
Yeah, and the running back didn't get much here, but, you know, you clearly want to always establish the tempo, run the football, be consistent, make that defense physically meet the challenge.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Scanning the field, it's Altmaier. A little screen to the running back. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass, as it just never developed.
Yeah, and you're going to see this offense find different ways to get this running back involved. It's not just going to be on handoffs, and they're certainly going to line him up in different places and even throw him the football. But the screen game's a big part of it, too. They're trying to get him going there.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. On 3rd down, going up top. And he intercepts it. Didn't get a ton on the return, but the most important thing, he got the ball, and they've got it at the 48.
And this ball looks like it just got away from the quarterback. I think he made the right decision. He was going to the receiver that seemed open, but just not very accurate on the throw, and that leads to the interception.
From the gun, running back gets to give. They get him on the ground, and with that, we'll head to the 2nd quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter. Penn State 14, Illinois 3.
Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. Using his legs, it's Singleton. And you can forget running in the middle against this defense.
Well, they want to come out and try to get the run game established, but up front defensively, they made a play. They gave us nothing on that one.
Got to find some breathing room if you're going to establish yourself on the ground, and there wasn't any that time.
Yeah, Reese, I wonder now if this offense is maybe going to try to get to the perimeter of the field and see if they can use their speed to hurt this defense.
Looking for a man. It's Aller. It's complete to the left. Nice job to pick up the first down, and they'll spot it at the 42.
Just beautiful, and that's a great feeling as a quarterback when you make that throw. It keeps your offense on the field, keeps the offense in rhythm. Obviously not as good as throwing a touchdown pass, but I'll tell you this, way better than having to trot off over to the bench and wait for your turn to get another shot.
Off the play fake on first down to throw. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. Got his man quickly. And chunk plays are the name of the game, and they get one here before the defense finally makes the stop.
And as a defense, how scary is it having to defend this guy? He's one of the fastest players in America, and you saw it on that last play. It's not necessarily throwing him the ball over your head. They just get it to him quickly. The hard part now is running and tackling that guy. Not easy to do.
I know the passing game sells and the passing game is exciting, but it's not exciting to get 5 or 6 yards a pop on the ground, but it will be very successful.
They've got it down to the 3. Now it's 2nd and goal. They'll run it left, looking for the end zone here. And he takes it to the house. Touchdown, Penn State!
Another rushing touchdown. That's now 2 on the game. This offense thought they could come into this one running the ball, being the more physical team, and they look like it right now.
And with the extra point, they're on top by 18. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. Returns to the field. This is hardly the start they dreamed of, down 21-3, but get a touchdown here and you feel like you're back in it, Jesse.
Yeah, and it's frustrating for this offense as well.
And that ball is picked off. Couldn't find a ton of room on that return, but that small change, they take over at the 43.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
They'll run this play from the pistol. Back to pass, it's Aller. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance.
Yeah, and you don't see very many quarterback hits on screens. You know, the offense wants to bluff real quick and make it look like pass, and then the quarterback's supposed to pop up, look like pass, and quickly get rid of it. You could tell timing all wrong. It was all jacked up, and that play went absolutely nowhere.
On the move is the 30. Nothing but green ahead. And it is a chunk play, a huge gain on that one before the defense brings it to an end.
I'll tell you, the defense is going to have to do a much better job containing these outside run plays. They better be able to funnel the football back to the middle of the field, because this guy with his speed can kill you like he did on that outside run play there to the left. And sometimes for the defense, it just takes one play, right, to create some momentum. Obviously, this guy's been eating him up. He's got over 100 yards rushing on the day. But finally, David, they get something positive here in the run game defensively.
But you kind of know that coming in. He's going to get his. Such a great back, and he's had a great day. Need to put more plays together like that right there.
Able to pick his way forward for a decent game before the defense gets him down.
I think on defense in your own red zone, you got to be ready for these receivers to get involved, not just catching the ball, but running it too. Good play offensively there.
On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. And on 4th down, they'll try to put 3 on the board. From the left hash, this one shouldn't be too much trouble. Absolute shank. Missed it. Well, the field goal didn't quite make it through, but still an 18-point game.
That's just a chip shot. That's just a field goal they got to make, guys.
Here comes the Illini offense back onto the field. They've been pretty much stifled on offense so far, David, only able to muster 3 points in their previous 3 drives.
And you got to find a way to open this up and create some explosive plays. The passing game is obviously the easiest way. Jesse, put more speed on the field. Find those guys down the field.
You know they're frustrated, too, because they felt like there were some matchups they could take advantage of to get some points on the board early. In this one, they just haven't been able to connect on those opportunities. But I like David's idea. Maybe move some guys around and see if you can create some better one-on-one matchups.
Picked up some yardage on the ground. Now here comes 2nd down. Running behind that left side. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
How about the defender being a heat-seeking missile? He was on radar lock. He found the football and flew down with some bad intentions.
Here on 3rd down. Dropping back, it's Altmaier. Fires to the big fella. Good tackle there to stop him short of the 1st down, and now they have to make a call.
You know, the tight end's going to have to do a better job of separating and giving his quarterback a place to go with the football. That time just couldn't create it, and as a result, as soon as he made the catch, he was brought to the ground, setting up 4th down.
On the move, it's Wallace. They'll get him down at the 21-yard line. The coverage team able to stop him right there.
Offense will take over 1st and 10.
The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. We talk about settling for points, but sometimes when you have to settle for nothing, David, it can be demoralizing.
Yeah, and it can definitely be frustrating. And I think it leads you to say maybe I go for it more. But, Jesse, I think this offense just needs to put another drive together and just finish strong.
Yeah, and be a little bit less predictable, too, especially as they get closer and closer down to the end zone.
They came out humming on this drive, and now it's 1st down from the 36. Might as well give it to him again. You want to make sure to maximize those types of runs, and he gets it out to the 41.
It's the MO of this offense, and they really put a lot on the offensive line to go out and really try and establish their dominance and their assertiveness, and they've done a good job of that early in this game running the football.
Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Pre-snap motion quarterback trying to get a read. Grabbed behind the line. It's Singleton. And they wrap him up, but not before he's got enough for the first down.
I just love quarterbacks that aren't greedy and that aren't always trying to throw the home run ball, right? Second down, you're in your own end of the field. The guy you want to throw to is not open. Just find the back. He'll go do something positive with it. This guy is a weapon, and you got to find him in the passing game.
And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down.
Yeah, this coaching staff, they're getting this offensive line lathered up and into a rhythm now. They're letting them drive off the ball on first down on these running plays, and they're getting chunks of yardage.
Second down here, and maybe they've got time to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. As we reach the 2-minute warning, they'll need to try to get a stop to keep this thing from getting out of hand. Offense gets set for second down. Dropping back, it's Aller. Looking left. He's got it. And they explode on that one, and they've got it down to the 22.
Man, this defense, they have got to get better in coverage if they want to get off the field anytime soon. You keep defending like that, this offense might hang 50 on you by the end of the game.
The Nittany Lions will line it up on 1st and 10. He wants to throw. Got a man. It's Fleming. They make the stop right there. Good pickup. It's still short of the first down.
Well, we knew coming into this game, this offense was going to try and get this receiver involved and get him involved early. So here they are just finding an easy completion. It's not a touchdown, but they just want to get this guy lathered up and get him into a run.
On second down, he'll let it fly. He caught it, and he will score. Touchdown, Nittany Lions.
And this offense right now, they're doing some damage through the air. That's now their second passing touchdown. They thought coming into this game they were going to have some matchups on the perimeter of the field that they could take advantage of, and they've done that so far here today.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. They march 78 yards down the field, and they finish it by firing one in from the 13 for the score. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. Fair catch, called for and made. The Illinois offense returns to the field. They find themselves in a pretty deep hole here, but maybe a chance to grab a little momentum and regroup at halftime.
Yeah, a big chance. Like this is an opportunity. This is the biggest opportunity in front of them in the game right now. You got to get some points on the board. You got to create something positive, Jesse. There hasn't been a whole lot to be positive about in the first half.
If I'm playing quarterback, I'm locating my go-to guy at receiver. Who can I count on one-on-one to go and make me a play? Maybe even one-on-two. Who can go up, catch the ball, get us some yards, and get us some points.
Back to throw, it's Altmaier. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
Doesn't take this defense a lot of time to get to the quarterback, man. They've got speed all over the place. They hit him so quickly, and because of that, the ball falls incomplete.
Third down conversions, always a huge stat, and they've got a 3rd and long from the 27. From the gun, wants to pass. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
And on money down defensively, you got to find ways to affect the quarterback. Nice job by the defense, getting the pressure, getting to him, getting a hit on him, and forcing the incompletion, and now forcing the 4th down.
Illinois runs the punt unit onto the field. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Signals for the fair catch and looks it in at the 40. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. They're going to open this drive with a pass. Showing the arm strength down the left side. And the pass is intercepted. Not much of a chance on the return, but they'll have the ball at the 33.
QB never saw the defender. He's staring his receiver down, telegraphing his throw, and the DB jumped all over that.
Just over 30 seconds to play here in the first half as they take over 1st and 10. Looking to move it through the air. Fires to the wideout. Got him downfield. And he's brought down after a huge completion. Illinois lining up quickly.
Roll it.
He's looking to throw it. Nowhere to go with the ball, and down he goes at the 39. There's a timeout called as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer. They'll try to keep that sack from wrecking this drive here on 2nd and 15. Looking to throw, it's Altmaier. Looking to the big tight end. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away.
I think the quarterback's got to do a better job with his eyes, guys. He's already been picked off twice in this game, and that one got swatted away. He's telegraphing where he's throwing the football, and it's making life really hard on him.
Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. And the defense picks up a sack, getting the quarterback down at the 44. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. One more snap coming before halftime. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Oh, he's going to try to get it all here. And he throws his 3rd pick of the day. His head has to be spinning. And he's dragged down after the interception, and that's how we'll close out the first half.
The end of the first half. With the score, Penn State 28, Illinois 3.
Looks as if we're set to crank it up here in the second half. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. Comes the Illini offense back onto the field. Huge deficit to start this 3rd quarter. They just need to find something to build a little confidence.
Yeah, it hasn't gone well. When you're trailing by this much, this first drive, man, does everything matter and hinge on this? Because every possession in the second half is going to be critical.
Yeah, and I think if you're on offense, why hold back? What are you worried about? Nothing went well in the first half for you, and at this point, trailing by as much as you are, throw caution to the wind, be aggressive, and let's just see what happens.
Defense closed down quickly after a gain of 3. They'll mark it at the 32.
3rd down coming up.
faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive. To throw, it's Altmaier. Quickly out to the tight end. Solid work and execution there. They'll have a first down as they mark it at the 40. Man, he had to get rid of that thing. I don't even think he had time to find the laces, but he picks up the first down.
Yeah, that's a great job. You know, 3rd and short, the defense is bringing pressure. He sees the pressure, gets the football out, and gets just enough for the first down.
Illinois picked up the first down. Now here they come again. To the ground with the back. A confident, tough, efficient run. Gets it up to the 44.
I think one of the hardest things to do is stick to the run when it's not working. But it's those runs right there that are the reason why you have to do it, right? You can't get too one-dimensional. Keep slipping those runs in there. Keep getting a little bit of positive yards. Next thing you know, you look up and you might break one of those after you got them a little bit tired.
The throw to the outside is complete. They make the stop, but the sweet throw and catch is plenty to give them a first down.
And there was no question in that scenario. That's where the quarterback was going. He knew he had his receiver in a matchup that he liked, running a route where he would find himself open. Nice job between those two.
And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on first down, man, you are doing just that.
They can really be aggressive after that last play. It's 2nd and 3. Keep it on the ground. Looks as if Illinois will have enough for the first down.
Well, the offense knew what they needed to get that first down, so they dial up the running play, and they get just enough to keep the drive alive.
Here's an opportunity for this offense in search of its first touchdown. It's 1st and 10. To the air, it's Altmaier. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And that defender was just smothering the quarterback on that screen attempt. You know, the QB's taught to hold on to it to the last possible second. He had no shot trying to negotiate that defender.
And the incompletion brings up a 2nd down for this offense.
Get set.
He's looking to throw. He's got the back in the middle. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short.
Guys out of the backfield now, it's not just run the ball downhill anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football, and you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on it.
On 3rd and short, just trying to get enough for the first down. They get him on the ground, but not before he gets enough for the first down.
And, you know, big chunks like this don't happen unless you commit to the run game. You got to get those big boys up front into the game, understanding I want to knock people off the football, create some holes like you do here for my running back, make the game easy.
Right back to the well. Relying on that running game as they threaten to pick up a 4 down to the 13. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down.
Moves.
Trying the left side. They knock him down after a pickup of 4. Ball is at the 9-yard line.
I think that was an example of the offensive coordinator trying to help out his quarterback. He's trying to keep these 3rd downs manageable. You know, you throw the ball on 2nd down and it's incomplete. Now you've set up 3rd and long, and now you're set up to fail.
The terrain gets rough this deep in the red zone. 3rd down, they can't pick up the first without scoring. They'll try to move the chains on the ground. They make the stop at the 5-yard line, and they've got it 1st and goal.
And I don't care if I get it by 2, by 20, by 30, by 40. I just want to get the first down, understanding the situation, understanding where the sticks are. Doesn't have to be sexy, but I got to make sure I get to that.
Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Fighting Illini. Got to start cutting into this lead somewhere. Now the question, will they have enough time?
But that's step 1. You got to get that first score. You got to get back in the ball game and get some of that momentum back on your side. You still got more work to do, but step one accomplished.
And the extra point cuts the lead to 28-10. That is what they mean when they say ball control, a 14-play touchdown drive. And they punctuated it with a 5-yard touchdown run. So they got the score. The lead is still 18 as they prepare to kick off. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. Well, let's see if this drive goes better than the last one. They were in and out quickly after the quick pick, David.
Yeah, first play, big mistake, man. Now, let's get this offense in a little bit of a rhythm. Maybe before you open it up again, Palmer, or do you trust him right away?
He seems to me like the guy maybe that just needs to kind of get into the flow of the game. So maybe you get the running game going here and just give him some easy looks to let him get lathered up.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Grab near the sticks. It's Wallace. Stopped at the 42, but he got 15 yards on the play.
Man, it's so important when you play QB. I got to know when to put some air on it, and I got to know when to rocket that thing in there. Work in the middle of the field. He knew he needed the rocket. Threw it in there. Great job, great catch.
This offense will snap it from the 42 on 1st and 10. Here's the handoff. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
And the defense is going to have more plays like this. He has had a ball game so far, running wild all day long. Defense finally comes up with a stop. Maybe get a little momentum here.
Over 100 yards already in this game. So if I'm on defense here, I'm adding more guys to the box, anticipating that they're going to continue to give this guy touches today.
Throws to the wideout. Tremendous awareness along the sideline and the ability to get the foot down for the big pickup.
I'll tell you what, that's great execution between the QB and receiver. They look like they could execute that throw in their sleep. Quarterback took his steps, threw it on time. Great route by the receiver. Nice job securing the catch.
The give. Crosses the 30. He's got to lay it. Powers through. Touchdown, Penn State! And the beatdown has ensued. Boy, did he just scorch that defense for that score.
He shows you all of it, Reese. He's got the speed, he's got the agility. This dude's a big-time playmaker. You just give him the ball, and he'll find different ways to kill you on different plays.
About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. He'll call for the fair catch here. Returns to the field. The last time they had it, they took it down the field for a touchdown. They can build some confidence that they could go back-to-back scoring drives here.
Yeah, and remember, it's not uncommon for offenses to find themselves as the game goes on. They had some things not go their way early, but they found something last drive, David. Let's see if they can build on it.
Yeah, you just pick and pick and pick until you find that place where you're like, okay, this is an advantage I have. They've clearly found that dude. They score here. We're in for a ball game.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Back to pass. It's Altmaier. Shoots it to the left. He's got it. Gets it to the 42-yard line, and that's a first down.
Man, the receiver right now is just living rent-free in that cornerback's head. Early in the game, caught a bunch of in-breaking routes. Now he catches the corner route. He can run the entire route tree, and right now, he's just running wild.
On first down, here comes this offense. It's a draw. And how about that interior defense stuffing the run for nothing?
Well, they're trying to run the football there, just nowhere to go. They got dominated up front at the point of attack.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw. Unloads it left. Missed his receiver there. It's incomplete.
And I tell you what, we've kind of gotten to the point where we expect QBs to be robots and just never to miss and always put it right on the face mask or right on the numbers. And right there, you can tell he just missed a little bit off, and I guarantee he's tapping his helmet and saying, hey, that's my bad.
Okay, ready?
3rd and long from the 42. If they can get some of it, it might give them a chance to go for it on 4th down. From the gun, wants to pass. Grabbed over the middle. It's Bryant. And Shore tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. He just didn't have a chance to get loose and make his way to that first down marker.
I think fans get upset sometimes, like run your route past the sticks so we get the first down, but nice job by the defense understanding where the sticks were and forcing the 4th down.
Illinois lining up to punt this one away. And they can't get on top of it to down it, so that ball will come out to the 20. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. On that last drive, defense had no idea what was happening. Run or pass, they wound up in the end zone, Jesse.
Yeah, you saw the experience in this offense that last drive, too, on that touchdown. Everybody on the same page. These guys have repped these plays over and over in practice and in games, and it's working, Dave.
Yeah, so I got to find a way to disrupt it. I got to find a way to maybe be more aggressive, maybe blitz, mess up this rhythm they got going.
And they'll spot it at the 38, and that'll be plenty for the first down.
You know, it looks like they just flip the ball and everything just magically works. You know why this toss to the left works? Because the wide receivers block. You know, I know you don't say that very often. Most of the time they want to run out, you know, get the glory, catch the ball, but they got to do a good job of blocking. When you toss it on the perimeter, those guys are pivotal for this play to have success. Really good job blocking on the perimeter.
35, Illinois 10.
They'll start the drive here with first down to open this period. They'll leave it with him. They can rely on this guy to pick up solid yardage when they need it, and he's out to the 43.
I like this guy as a running back because he can run between the tackles and he can also go outside. He can really do it all.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5.
Pound 55 weak.
On the run, it's Wallace. Finally pulled down, but not before moving the chains for a first down.
Well, I know this is an offensive line that has a ton of pride, and they want to come out each and every game and really impose their will on the D-line. They got just enough push there on that run play to pick up the first.
They're getting this guy lathered up.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Handoff to the lone back. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
It's going to be tough sledding for the offense here. They're trying to ice this game by running the football and leading the clock. They've got a pretty good lead here late in the game, but the defense knows the run's coming, right? So they're going to be loading the line of scrimmage, getting stops like what they just did. It'll be interesting to see what the offense does on this next one.
Leaves it with the back. How about this confidence in the running game, and he picks up 9, just short of the marker. It'll be 4th and 1. And the Nittany Lions decide to punt it away. He ought to be able to use this first punt to pin him deep. That thing was down for a while, but the big bounce carried it into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Here comes the Illini offense back onto the field. They hope to be able to cash in on this drive, David, after having to punt it last time.
Yeah, and I think this offense needs to start it with the first play. You need to be successful and productive on that first play, and it gets you in less predictable situations.
No doubt, too. Don't you just feel like there's a little bit more sense of urgency on this drive? It just feels like they've got to be able to put some points up on the board here.
9-yard pickup on first down, and now they can take a shot on 2nd and short. He'll run it again. They'll get him on the ground, but not before Illinois picks up the first down.
This is an offense that prides himself on being physical, so you need 1 yard. Just hand it off to your back and let him go to work.
And they'll line up from the 31 on first down.
42, Spider.
They'll give it to the back. Just working and poking and prodding and finding his way up to the 36.
Hey, 5 to 6 yards a pop. I don't know if you guys are really good at math, but that usually equals a first down every couple carries. So don't forget about the run game. Keep them honest, pound that rock.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5.
Spider.
Takes this handoff and headed to the right. And just wedges it ahead a bit before he's brought down. We hit the 2-minute warning, and this offense is desperate to make something happen and do it in a hurry. Lining up to convert 3rd down. Running back searching for a hole. What a nifty run there to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and a nice big pickup on the ground. Colin could have used some of this earlier in the game. Are you calling runs at this point?
No, I'd be a little bit more aggressive, I think, throwing it. I think part of it right now is because the defense, they've got the lead big. They're just playing a little bit more zone, a little bit more prevent. They're fine letting this offense just chip down the field, but they're wasting time off the clock.
On the move, it's McCray. You'll take 4 yards on first down every time, 2nd and 6.
And I think this offense is all but surrendered, right? Like they're down so much, they need to be throwing the football if they want to score a bunch of points to get back in this game. But they got to find something moving forward, man. This was a rough day. This was not a great offensive performance. They got to bounce back. The next opportunity, the next moment, because today, it was not a good day.
Smashes through. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground.
And this defense is more than happy with the offense running the football. They've done a great job today. I mean, they've really made this offense work so hard, earn everything they've got, and that's why this lead is ballooned like it has.
On 3rd and short, they keep it on the ground here. They finally make the stop, but the big run is plenty to move those sticks for the first down. Just complete and utter dominance in this one. Outplayed their opponent and took care of business.
Yeah, total domination in all 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. This team came ready to play, and man, it was pedal to the metal right from the opening kickoff.
And that's how you like it. Forget the close games, forget the heartbreakers, this play could decide it. Just frying pan, meat face, ball game over.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.